So let's spend this inning in the Wheelhouse Windup with SNY.TV's AOL FanHouse's own Dan Graziano joining us live from the new Meadowlands Stadium. And Dan, we're going to throw out some Jet Viking topics at you. You tell us whether or not they're a hit or a miss. You ready?
I am.
Here we go. First one, Randy Moss scores on Darrelle Revis again. Is that hit or a miss?
Yes, I think that's a hit. I think Randy Moss will score at least once tonight. This is the king of Monday Night Football. He scored, 17 touchdowns in 16 career Monday night games. Didn't get a single catch last week on Monday night, and you know he's dying to do something special here tonight. You know he doesn't like that Revis has been talking about him since the offseason, and I believe he'll score at least once tonight.
All right, Danny, the debut of Santonio Holmes tonight for the Jets. Will he outperform Braylon Edwards? Hit or miss?
That's a hit. You know, they've been dying to get Santonio Holmes back into this offense. I say back into this offense. It'll be his Jets debut. But he's basically their Randy Moss. They're excited about the way he's going to be able to stretch the field, his ability to provide those explosive plays. They have been waiting since they signed him to run plays for Santonio Holmes, and I think you're going to see it right off the bat tonight.
Dan, Jason Taylor, should he start over Calvin Pace the rest of the season? Hit or miss?
No, that's a miss. I mean, why go away from the plan now? They went 3-1 without Pace and with Taylor in there. That's a bonus. They signed Jason Taylor so they could use him in certain specific situations that took advantage of his skills and that limited his exposure to injury and to wearing down as he's prone to do at his age. So I don't see any reason to change now just because he played well in Pace's absence. Go back to the original plan and take it as a bonus that he did so well for you and helped you get to 3-1.
You know, Dan, if you look over the stats over the past couple of years, the Vikings have had the best run defense in the NFL. So the Jets running backs, they're going to struggle tonight. Is that hit or miss?
That's a hit, and I think in particular Sean Green is going to have a hard time because his style of running it really is based on sort of taking that first hit and absorbing it and continuing to run after it. The Vikings, as well as anybody in the league, deliver that hit and then stop and then wrap the guy up. So I think he's going to have a hard time finding room inside and doing what he likes to do after the initial hit. If they can get Tomlinson, free, clear some lanes for him, get him out in space, maybe involve him in the passing game a little bit, maybe he'll do something. But I think it's a hit. They will struggle tonight to run against the Vikings.
All right, Danny's been great up until this point in time. Sanchez will continue to play error-free football once again tonight. Hit or miss?
No, that's a miss, and not just because of the law of averages. I mean, he's going to have to throw a pick at some point. He's going to have to make a mistake at some point. But I think if you look at this Vikings defense, maybe a little soft in the secondary, strong up front as we talk about, but they have such great linebackers, and they can change up looks, and they can really do a lot of things with that linebacking core. You saw it against Drew Brees in the second half of the opener, the regular season opener of the season down in New Orleans, and I think you'll see it against Sanchez tonight, and I think they will force him into some mistakes.
Dan, the touchdown machine, Dustin Keller, will he outperform Shanko tonight? Hit or miss?
I think that's a hit because I think at this point Keller is the better bet to outperform Shanko week in and week out, no matter the matchup. He's more of a part of the offense than Shanko is in Minnesota, and I think especially now when you look at Favre will really be looking to try to get the ball to Moss. I think that Keller is in line for a better game tonight than Shanko. Was that a fantasy lineup question though? I'm trying to think. Are you trying to decide on a tight end for this week? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
We got to wrap this up talking about Brett Favre. He is making his return. This will be the last game in the New York, New Jersey area for him. Hit or miss?
Miss, only because I'm not going to be the guy who sits here and says Brett Favre's definitely retiring. I'm just not going to do it. It might turn out to be true, but we've heard it all before, and I'm not going to sit here and say that this is really the end for him. They could have a playoff game here against the Giants this year. Who knows? The NFC's all up in the air. But no, I'm not going to say Brett Favre is retiring until I've seen a whole year go by without him playing.
Dan Graziano, of course, you can read his stuff on AOL FanHouse and, of course, SNY.TV. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, guys.
All right, drew up in the wheel.